right now at 7.
Looking live at Oracle Park. Wasn't full capacity, but it sure felt like it. Did the home opener go off without a hitch?
It's a great day. We are very happy. Giants are back. The people are back.
And tonight in Oakland, shocking new crime numbers just released. Some suspects as young as 11. And a KPIX 5 exclusive. A new voice now describing his role in this frightening attack on an Asian Bay Area grandmother.
But when they see me coming with my uniform, they run. I've been in that area almost 12 years. They really know me. And they run.
Right now on the KPIX 5 News at 7 and streaming on CBS and Bay Area. Oracle Park roaring back to life. Fans waiting more than a year to see the Giants in person. And the team made sure it was well worth the wait. Good evening. I'm Alan Martin. Ken and Liz have the night off. We have team coverage tonight, starting with fans. KPIX5's Wilson Walker was out there capturing all that excitement. Wilson?
Just about 9,000 fans got to see today's game. Truly an opening day unlike any other, and the excitement extended well beyond the ballpark.
Wonderful to be back. Wonderful to be back in San Francisco, too.
Where are you from?
Chico.
The fans, the food, the good times. It all came back to life today, even though the pandemic continues to write most of the rules.
There we go. We both had 2 shots. Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, we need your vaccination card.
As for the process of checking those credentials, the Giants were absolutely ready for it with an army of staff on hand to check paperwork and keep people moving.
That is the first. We've never had to do this before.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's it mean to be back?
What does it mean? It's awesome. I'm so happy to be back. Baseball's back. Love this game. So I'm really excited to bring my boy here and watch the Giants win.
It's a great day. We are very happy. Giants are back. The people are back. Everyone's back to work. It's a great day.
And maybe more excited than the fans, businesses up and down the Embarcadero, where it looked every bit like a sunny opening day. This was an afternoon a lot of people have been waiting a long time for, even if they didn't have a ticket.
So you got some cash in your vaccination card.
Yep, you got it. You got it. So if you know anybody, let me know.
One question shared by fans and business owners alike is, when does capacity increase? Is it June when restrictions get rolled back, or maybe later towards the fall? Everyone would like to see more fans and patrons down here by the ballpark. In San Francisco, Wilson Walker, KPIX 5.
I'm Dennis O'Neill at Oracle Park. When I got inside, the fans were smiling, talking baseball, boats in Mid-Covey Cove. The smell of their beer and the hot dogs made me think Oracle Park is alive and well. So apparently is the Giants pitching staff. Brian Stowe on hand to throw out the first pitch nearly 10 years after he was attacked outside Dodger Stadium. Stowe flipped it underhanded to Alyssa Nacken, who received a big ovation of her own when the coaching staff was introduced. Johnny Cueto retired the first 13 batters he faced.
Look out. Cueto's got it.
Rocky starter Austin Gomber matched Cueto until he was pulled in the 7th inning. Brandon Crawford up with the bases loaded. He comes through the big 2-out hit to drive into. That's all it took to make 9,000 fans sound like 40,000 fans.
Oh, listen to that glorious sound.
Cueto was 1 out away from his first complete game since 2016. But with the tying run to the plate, Gabe Clapper brought in closer Jake McGee.
Got him, and that's the ball game.
Giants beat the Rockies 3-1.
It seemed a lot louder than 9,000 or whatever was announced. That's for sure. And it's just nice to be back in front of our own crowd.
Giants now with a 4-3 record, and check it out, through 7 games, they have the 4th best starting rotation ERA in the National League. At Oracle Park, I'm Dennis O'Donnell, KPIX 5.
A live look at Oakland, and this just in tonight, we're learning about a huge jump in violent crime, including murders, in the past 48 hours. Tonight, investigators are looking for clues in 3 homicide cases that have happened throughout the city since Wednesday. The department's also looking into 32 armed robberies and carjackings that all happened yesterday. Investigators say the crimes were pulled off by two separate groups of females and males ranging in age from 11 years old to their early 20s. The chief says he is committed to using all the resources he has to try to reduce the recent violence there. And now to a KPIX 5 exclusive, a new voice in the attack on an Asian grandmother in San Francisco. For the first time, we're hearing from the security guard who took the suspect down. He tells KPIX 5's Betty Yu their encounter started long before that.
It doesn't matter you Asian, you black, you white, whatever who you are. My job is just to help. Anybody I see somebody that hurt, if I can help, I do.
Civic Center security guard Samba Gisay did just that when he chased and brought the suspect to the ground in this newly released surveillance video provided by the Public Defender's Office. Seconds earlier, Stephen Jenkins, who is homeless, is seen hitting Xiao Zhen Xie, who was standing by the post. Gisay was already in pursuit of Jenkins. He first saw the man get beat up at UN Plaza nearby. Video shows Jenkins taking hits.
One lady and one guy jumped him in the corner outside the farmer's market. But when they see me coming with my uniform, they run. I've been in that area almost 12 years. They already know me. And they run. They're not trying to mess with him. The guy coming to me bleeding.
That's when Gisay first made contact with Jenkins.
But he just cussing like, oh, they jump me. And he just keep walking.
Moments later, that's when police say Jenkins attacked 83-year-old Nok Pham, sending him to the hospital. Witnesses pointed Gisay in the right direction. Minutes later, Jenkins punches Xie.
She's an older woman. I'm just trying to help.
A week after the incident last month, Police Chief Bill Scott, a captain and sergeant, paid Gisay a surprise visit. SFPD and the Civic Center gave him these certificates for his outstanding service at great personal risk.
I'm really appreciative for the chief, and thank you so much for everything we're doing in the Civic Center.
Gisay works 7 days a week, full-time as a patrol officer for the Department of Public Works, part-time as a guard, watching over the farmers market area, a job he says he loves. Gisay said he's originally from Senegal and has lived in the Bay Area for 18 years. He hasn't spoken personally with the grandmother's family, but said he's glad she's on the mend. In San Francisco, Betty Yu, KPIX 5.
And a live look across San Francisco, where today is the final day of remote learning for hundreds of students. The first round of SF Unified students will return to campus on Monday. That includes pre-K through second graders and special education students up to fifth grade. High school sports practices will also return on Monday. Special ed students in middle and high school will return April 26th. The district says that students will be split into different groups. Some will have in-person classes only 2 days a week in order to maintain physical distancing.
It will feel different from before the pandemic for many reasons, including health and safety protocols that are now in place. But schools are still places for connection and for interaction.
Now at 7 tonight, there's a push to keep a stretch of San Pedro Street in San Jose closed permanently for outdoor dining. It has been shut down during the pandemic so that restaurants could add outdoor seating. Business owners in the area say they prefer the open-air atmosphere. They've even added lighted decks and planters to their storefronts.
This just feels a lot more, I don't know, just lively with the permanent kind of outdoor seating that wasn't here before. Without the traffic coming through, it's great. I love it.
It's creating this urban environment that I think downtown San Jose strongly needs and desires.
A couple things could stand in the way of making the pedestrian-friendly strip permanent. A busy garage that has one entrance on San Pedro Street and limited access for emergency vehicles. But for now, city leaders say the street will remain closed at least until the end of the year. Up next, almost instant outrage from Republicans after new executive action from President Biden, his move involving the Supreme Court. Plus,
Arnold!
Problems tonight for people headed to Tahoe. The rock slide blocking lanes on one of the busy mountain highways.
Hopefully find a way to get up and get on the slopes.
And spring has sprung high atop a Bay Area building. The story behind these newborns and how you can keep an eye on them. Then later, an incredible story from the Masters. A Bay Area native playing in it for the first time, and he is one shot off the lead.
there's no reason to feel intimidated now. I mean, I've made it to here.
You got in a round of golf around the Bay Area today. I hope you did really well on the downwind holes. It was breezy out there, and the coastal clouds are starting to make their way back in. Temperatures were cool today, but we are in for a warm-up, at least in parts of the Bay Area this weekend. Details coming up in your forecast.
If you are headed to the Sierra this weekend for some end-of-the-season skiing, you better listen to this. A rock slide creating traffic troubles along Highway 50. Traffic is moving, but only one lane is open along Echo Summit. That's after hours of work from Caltrans to clear that slide.
Arnold!
That's how they did it. Workers have been blasting the boulders away, trying to clear the road. Slide happened early this morning, blocking both westbound, eastbound lanes, causing one car there to crash into the boulders and then tip over on its side. Although one lane's open, it's slow going for anybody headed to South Lake Tahoe right now.
Very frustrating. I have my grandson, I was going to go take him snowboarding. And so now we have to go back home.
Hopefully find a way to get up and get on the slopes.
Well, there's some busy parents tonight on top of PG&E San Francisco headquarters. New video shows 3 falcons hatching in their nest in the building on Beale Street. You watch the young falcon family grow on PG&E's live webcam, and we put a link to it on our website, KPIX.com. A live look outside, we can see Sutro Tower peeking through the fog. It's underneath it and it's above it. Chief Meteorologist Paul Hagan here.
Yeah, the camera is in it, so we're not going to show you that particular perspective.
Oh, that wouldn't look good.
No, we got caught by that the other day when the fog just rolled right in as we were trying to show the view. Let's take a look at what we expect as we head into the weekend. Warmer temperatures inland. It's going to be slightly warmer around the bay, but still generally cool near the water. That onshore breeze is still going to be with us until about Tuesday and Wednesday. A brief offshore wind pattern is going to develop, and that means warmer temperatures everywhere. Still no rain in sight. That part of the forecast has not changed. We'll keep looking, though, throughout the month of April. Right now, you can see the coastal clouds behind downtown San Francisco, and the camera is shaking around because of that strong wind. 51 degrees downtown. Everybody else also in the 50s, but at least a little farther into the 50s. 53 Livermore at Oakland. Upper 50s right now in Santa Rosa and in Concord. 56 degrees in San Jose. Winds still gusty. 31-mile-an-hour winds right now in San Francisco. Those are going to die down as we head through the rest of tonight. But the first half of the day tomorrow, while we get a break in the wind, it's not going to last into the entirety of the day. But that break from the wind for the first half of the day, that's important because it's going to allow temperatures to warm up a little bit more than they did today, even around the bay and near the coast. Not going to be a huge difference there, but farther inland, you are going to notice warmer temperatures by tomorrow afternoon. The winds pick up in the afternoon. That's when temperatures take a dip near the water, but inland areas reaching well into the 70s for the most part. We'll zoom in for a closer look in just a second. Here are the low temperatures late tonight. Mostly 40s, a few spots in the valleys of the North Bay dipping down into the upper 30s, only warming up to the mid-50s along the coast. Maybe a degree warmer than today, but it's still an onshore breeze. Even if it's weaker, it's going to keep you cool. Temperatures in the mid to upper 60s around the south end of the bay, right around 70 degrees in the Santa Clara Valley, including 70 degrees exactly in San Jose. Temperatures are going to be affected there by that wind coming down off of the bay, but it's just going to be a slight cooling effect. It means you're not going to be quite as warm as other inland portions of the Bay Area, like the East Bay, low to mid 70s in the Tri-Valley with mid to upper 70s east of the Diablo Range. Now on the east side of the bay, we're talking about temperatures in the low to mid 60s for Oakland, Alameda, San Leandro, only in the upper 50s in San Francisco, but that's warmer than today's high temperature, close to 60 degrees. We're getting there. Temperatures mostly in the low to mid 70s for the North Bay and farther north, Mendocino and Lake counties, also in the low to mid 70s. The pollen count isn't going to change very much. Now, it does look like Sunday's the troublesome day into the high category, but basically we're going to be really on the high end of the medium high category or on the low end of the high category for the next 4 days, which carries us through early next week. And with no rain in sight to wash that stuff out of the air, we're not going to see much of a change to the pollen count as we go into the foreseeable future, really. Temperatures stay steady as we go through the middle of next week. Inland, there's that warm up around the bay and even near the coast by the middle of next week. Tuesday and Wednesday, the warmest days with that brief period of weak offshore winds. Then we start to back down just a little bit with some additional clouds by Thursday and Friday. We'll keep tracking those winds this evening. I'll have another update coming up at 11 o'clock.
The allergy treatment handy.
Yes, please.
Oh, okay, Paul. Thanks.
That's you.
Now, we've got our top headlines for you. A worldwide outpouring of sympathy after the death of Britain's Prince Philip. Flags across the UK at half-staff tonight in memory of the 99-year-old husband of Queen Elizabeth. The prince died at Windsor Castle earlier today.
They have lost not just a much-loved and highly respected public figure, but a devoted husband and a proud and loving father, grandfather, and in recent years, great-grandfather.
The question tonight at the White House, should the Supreme Court be expanded beyond the current 9 justices? President Biden issued an executive order to create a commission to study its structure, along with the length of service and turnover of justices. Republicans in Washington already upset about it. Any move to change the Supreme Court would touch off a fierce political battle. Dustin Johnson set a Masters record in November. Different story this weekend. DJ 5 over par, missed the cut. Justin Rose saw his 4-shot lead briefly disappear, but regrouped on the back 9 to get back to 7 under par. He now leads the field. But what about Will Zalatoris, the Belmont native playing in the Masters, the first time for him? So much for first-time jitters. Birdied the final 3 holes is 1 stroke off the lead, and Rose.
I'm excited to be here. I've wanted to be here forever, so there's no reason to feel intimidated now. I mean, I've made it to here. And obviously, job's not done by any means.
Incredible story. Zalatoris will play with Rose in the final pairing tomorrow at Augusta. Up next, new details from Bay Area marine biologists, what they say killed one of 4 whales that recently washed up dead. And the tough decision ahead for this landmark in the Bay.
The only thing we know is that it's going to be expensive.
And then later, NASA has been making a lot of history on Mars lately, but what it's about to do this weekend is pretty mind-blowing.
This really is a big deal. This is really going to be consequential.
Well, tonight, a historic light station in San Pablo Bay hanging in the balance. The Richmond mayor is making a plea for help after the island plunged into darkness. The historic East Brother Light Station bed and breakfast has been without power since April 1st. The underwater cable that powers the island's buildings failed. The U.S. Coast Guard, which owns that cable, has decided not to fix it and is only providing power for the tower light. Without the funds, the bed and breakfast has an uncertain future.
Right now, since we have no power coming from the mainland, we are relying on generator power, which I can only use 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour at night. We need your help again this year to help make history and keep it open.
It looks like several $100,000 to replace the cable.
The East Brother Light Station nonprofit launched a GoFundMe effort to raise money for that new power source. Now an update on how a whale that washed ashore at Muir Beach died. Marine biologists do confirm it was struck by a ship. The gray whale was discovered at Muir Beach yesterday. This is the fourth whale to wash ashore in the Bay Area since last Wednesday. Biologists still trying to figure out what caused the deaths of the other three. Up next, move over, Rover. Something new about to explore the red planet. NASA is hoping to make history this weekend. For the first time ever, it plans to fly an aircraft on another planet. This little 4-pound solar-powered helicopter-like device arrived on Mars with a rover back in February. The biggest challenge is flying what they have named Ingenuity around the thin atmosphere. Now, if it works, it could be a game changer for the future of space travel.
This is really going to be consequential if we can really demonstrate that we can fly on Mars. We can use that helicopter or that aerial vehicle to fly over to locations that we can't reach with a robotic rover or robotic craft, or with humans even. There might be places we can't reach or can't get to.
NASA will attempt the first flight on Sunday. The goal is to hover 10 feet above the ground for 30 seconds. They'll be holding their breath at JPL in Pasadena. Thanks for watching. The news does continue streaming on CBS and Bay Area. We'll be back here for you at 11 o'clock. Enjoy the evening.